The season is coming to an end for some people.
Oh.
So let's talk about a little bit of what these teams need to do heading into the offseason, because there are some teams on my list, they ain't going to the playoffs. So they're planning now. Front offices are discussing at this very moment. I'm talking about scouts, area scouts, regional scouts, general managers, interim general managers, assistant general managers, director of player development, scouting. They are looking and starting to prepare. What do we need? How do we get the heck out of where we are today to propel us back to where our jobs are a little bit more secure?
Mm-hmm. And I like that I don't know this, Steve. I like that I don't know your teams.
So
I'm excited to break this
targeting
down.
wide receivers in the draft. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teams that I believe need to target wide receivers. And I'm not saying in the first round. I'm just saying you need to get them in the building. You need to get them to work in this offseason and get them up to speed, because they can be the difference between you going a little bit deeper in the playoffs, actually making it to the playoffs, or just giving your fan base a little bit of reprieve so they can just take it in. Because we know we all getting chubby now during the holidays. I don't know about you. Maybe it's just me. But since Thanksgiving, man, I have not stopped eating.
Listen, all right, and I think you put that well, Steve. This is not all we need a new X. We need a new number one. This is different needs, different feels with each team, right? Okay.
Yep.
All right, hit me with your first team.
All right, first team. The Las Vegas Raiders. I don't care what you say or what you think about Pete Carroll. Doesn't matter. He's either going to be your coach or he's not going to be your coach. But the biggest issue is the quarterback situation for the Las Vegas Raiders. Yes, you need a number one wide receiver. You underutilized Jacoby Myers, then you trade him. And
Who's
he ain't
balling, by the way?
He's not doing anything but balling, right? He has more touchdowns in a short amount of time than he had when he was with you for 7 to 8 weeks.
He's making that Jags passing game go right now.
But if you don't address the quarterback position yesterday, it actually doesn't matter who you get at wide receiver. Mm-hmm. Because you're going to make them unhappy. You don't have a quarterback, you don't get the chance to acquire any wide receivers in free agency because you can't attract them with anything. Free agency comes and you can say, hey, man, here's a bag. Yeah. Where's the bag from? Right?
Listen, when you draft a receiver, Steve, it's here's a bag. You have to take it. You're coming here to our organization. A little different than free agency. And I think you're exactly right, because when you look at their number one offensive weapon to suit, Brock Bowers, right? He can't be as effective as he fully can be if there's nothing else in the passing game. Like that, we've seen that. We've seen teams clog the middle of the field, specifically hurting Genty as well. They need offensive line help, I'd say, as well. But they did get, Jack Besh and Dante Thornton, is it?
Yes.
Last year?
Besh is doing okay. Thornton, he's doing okay. But, again,
they need to add.
It's really hard to say how these guys are going to play or where are they when the quarterback play, the stopgap that Geno Smith has usually done a really good job. Just he's not on point as we would expect, and not on point, especially what we expected the way he played in Seattle to go now with Pete in Las Vegas. It was tough.
Yeah, it was tough. It was, it was interesting. I just want a little side note because I was talking to a player about this the other day. He was like, that Raiders defense isn't terrible. But their offense puts them, he's like, their offense puts them in terrible positions nonstop.
Yeah,
Short fields, right back on the
that,
field immediately, all these things. He's like, I'm curious. He was just like, I'm curious what they'd be like if they had a sustainable offense that spent some time on the field and didn't give them short fields and stuff like that. That's what he's just saying. He's like, all right, that's a good team. That's a good team. Yep. That's a really good team. Okay.
All right, the Tennessee Titans.
That's 100% right there. Okay.
Right, the Tennessee Titans, they have Cam Ward, they have Alec Manor Young. They got Deke. He played with Cam at Miami. So there's a familiarity. But the odd man out, Calvin Ridley.
Mm-hmm.
Calvin Ridley received a ton of money, and from what I've heard, it became very evident he wasn't a good fit for the type of offense they currently have right now because, one, he's not available, not his fault, but he's a different player versus press coverage and off coverage. When you give him off coverage, he's hell to deal with. When you press him up, my man can go on the side of a milk carton, he's missing. And
you told me that.
They have to find Cam Moore some opportunities to keep these guys, the defense, off the field so they can have prolong some drives.
I think there's been some flashes of Cam Ward that have been really impressive this year.
Yes, there have.
As bad as they've been, right? And I think helping that is your franchise. And you need to help your franchise, which is
yes, you do.
Cam Ward. The other note I would make is this new group led by Mike Borgonzi and his group that he's brought in did not give Calvin Ridley that contract. And my understanding is they've been evaluating everything in that locker room in terms of roster. What are our guys? Who are we moving forward with? A lot of people were available at the trade deadline. I think you're right. I think this is a team that definitely, but I also think they have so many needs. They might need to just go best player on our board for every draft pick. With all the needs that they have. But I totally think receiver is right near the top. Yep. Okay. That's a good one, too. Okay. I like this.
All right. They're very surprising. The Minnesota Vikings.
And, I think I know where you're going.
Right. Where you got to help your young quarterback. And how do you help your young quarterback clear up the coverage so he can be on time and ahead of schedule? Is Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison are going nowhere. However, Jalen Naylor, the number 3 speed guy. Oh my goodness gracious, he's gonna get pizzade.
Yeah, he is a free agent.
He's a free agent, young, fresh legs, He's been developed by one of the best wide receiver coaches in the league.
Oh, our guy.
Yes, our guy, Keenan McCardell. And you have a speed guy because Justin Jefferson is a galloper. Jordan Addison, he does his deal. But man, you need a speed guy to clear and establish for your young quarterback, J.J. McCarthy, at times, who doesn't always see it immediately. He sometimes has to wait for it to be open, which at times can be too late.
Okay.
So you got to have a speed guy, and so that's what I'm saying is you get your number 3 wide receiver, right? The same way over the years before that. Remember K.J. Osborne? He was a
great
guy,
call.
Right? Really good number 2, number 3. Got a little bit too big for his britches. Then went to some other places, got exposed a little bit. Right? So that's what you need. You always got to have, right, when you got when you got your Batman and Robin, man, everybody's looking for a super friend. And so that's what you need.
Who that is? Batman. Robin?
It's Super Friend. Whoever it is. If it's Iceman, Wolverine, Gambit,
I thought it was
Cyclops. Who is it?
I thought it was Alfred. I don't know.
No, man, nobody want old ass Alfred. We're in trouble if Alfred is out there.
You're right. Hey, does that guy have to be able to play inside and outside? Would you prefer that? With that player? I know Naylor plays.
Well, that's what the draft is. You can.
Yeah.
Versatility, yes, he has to be versatile. Okay. You don't want to pigeonhole someone or have a guy who can only play in the slot. Jordan and JJ move around.
Yep.
They're interchangeable. And JJ lines up in the slot, bunch formation. So you have to have a guy who understands concepts, understands responsibility, and how he runs. And so he has to be able to play multiple positions.
Okay, that's what I was getting at because JJ lines up pretty much everywhere. Okay.
Yep. All right. The Atlanta Falcons. Not because I'm trying to replace Drake London. He needs a running mate. You got your quarterback of the future. Yes, he's dealing with an ACL repair or knee, whatever the case may be. That he's doing. But Michael Penix is your guy. And you need a running mate, right? Darnell Mooney has been outstanding. Unfortunately, he has not been available. And when you don't become available, teams they're forced to make plans without you. And you and I both know, James, especially in this league, if you are not available, what they say, you can't make the club.
Can't make the club in the tub. Mm-hmm.
What that does is you give the organization an opportunity to see how valuable you are to them, but also how you can become obsolete and replaceable. Because the guy who steps in your absence, he shows flashes, and they're like, man, if we can just get a more consistent type of guy like this, man, it could open up our offense completely, right? They're going to lose Kyle Pitts.
Certainly are. They've made no effort.
The way that Kyle Pitts has been playing, people are going to go back and say, this is the guy at Florida when he was drafted. This is the guy we love. He showed a little bit of flashes the other night, and teams are going to be like, hey, if he comes to our squad, we can make him. We can make.
Wait
him do
till
that.
we get him, Steve. Wait till we get him. That's what every coach thinks.
Wait till we get him in our building and coach him up. He will really show them.
Yeah.
So you're gonna lose that presence for Kyle Pitts that people need to pay attention to. They're required to pay attention to him. So Drake London is the number one wide receiver for the Atlanta Falcons, doing an excellent job. He's raised his game completely. He's had a disadvantage of playing with some of the other quarterbacks, which has slowed down his progression and really given him at times opportunities for guys like me to say, hey, he's in his sophomore. He's really still a couple of years behind of where he is because he didn't have the hand-to-hand combat experience in the game, because a lot of routes he was running, we did not get the opportunity to see, can he make that catch? Can he shed that press? Because the ball wasn't thrown to him either accurately, either on time, or just thrown to him, period.
Yeah, I love that. A couple of notes I have, and you're right, and I think he needs some help too, because he is used a lot in the run game as a blocker, tight to the formation. They try. He plays a very physical style at the line that they need him to do. And when you look at the way the offense is built, even in the passing game, Steve, what is it? It goes Drake London and then Bijan Robinson, and then Kyle Pitts, and then whoever is going to fill that spot. So I know they would have loved to make a move at the deadline for an added piece, but they've already given up. They knew this draft capital for what they did at the top of the draft. They're missing their first round pick next year, remember, as they traded away for a pass rusher. And so I do know that they want some speed to stretch things out from everywhere else that they do it in the middle of that group. And I know they've been looking. So this is a great call. Perfect. So this is a compliment piece.
Compliment piece.
Okay.
All right. Kansas City Chiefs.
Whoa, I did not have that one.
Listen, with Rose Sparks, you ain't never got to get ready because they allow you to stay ready. As you become older, hey, I'm older too. And I'm also single now. So being older and being single, there's a little bit of getting back on the scene and afraid that you won't be able to perform to your excellence. So I got an opportunity to make sure that I stay ready. Got to roll with me anytime the way it comes in. Roll does an excellent job of connecting you with a medical provider, and it comes straight to your door. No having to wait in line or to drive anywhere. You just sit at home, prepare, get ready, and then you can stay ready because Roll will be delivering straight to your door. If prescribed, new sexual health patients get $15 off their first order of Sparks on a recurring plan. Connect with a provider at ro.co/89 to find out if prescription Rose Sparks are right for you. That's ro.co/89 for $15 off the first order. Sparks is a compounded drug product. Compounded drugs are permitted to be prescribed under federal law, but are not FDA approved and do not undergo FDA safety, effectiveness, or manufacturing review. For safety information, go to ro.co/safety info.
Whoa, I did not have that one. And I'm not going to say the stupid phrase that everybody else always says. Well, I didn't have that on my bingo card. I can't stand that.
Yeah. But yes, you still said it.
I didn't make sure what it
Didn't have that one on my Keno card. Hey, what you know about Keno?
Oh, I don't know much about keto. I'm not going to lie.
See, that's the white and black right there. Just letting you know.
Okay, there we go. Here we go. Let's make sure.
No, I'm just being honest. Like late in the rounds, I'm not going to say first round draft pick, and here's why: Thornton, impending free agency, Hollywood Brown, Juju Smith-Schuster, right? You know you got Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy, right? Travis Kelce. Who knows what's going to happen with him? Patrick Mahomes, the way he's going to be, it's going to take a little bit of time. Why he's taking time, and we've known and we've seen this in the past with Patrick Mahomes not being in the lineup, I believe, for the circumstances, actually benefits the Kansas City Chiefs because you remember how Rashee Rice struggled to get the football from Patrick Mahomes because it was Patrick Mahomes needs to trust him. He doesn't run the routes the way Patrick Mahomes wants to run it. So you get a late round draft pick, and they have Jalen Royals from Utah State. I think he's really coming on. They like him. He's getting in the Andy Reid football shape because Andy Reid runs he runs one of the hardest training camps and practices known to mankind. There's no one out there like him. They practice hard. They go hard. High. What do you think
it is, Steve? Him and Mike T, maybe, are the two?
Mike T, John Harbaugh would be on some bullshit too, boy. Harbaugh be tripping with some of them practices.
So it seems like if we look at these three guys, it's like if you've been at your job forever, you can run people into the ground at training camp.
Yeah. So I would say late round just because of circumstances. Do they sign Hollywood Brown back? It depends on what Hollywood Brown is asking for, right? Mm-hmm. He's been injured a little bit, not his fault. Juju is getting older. You know, he has that knee issue, and he's playing in there. And Tyquan Thornton has really shown that he go out there and get opportunity to fight for number 2 spot and get some number 2 money, which ain't bad.
No, that's not bad at all. This was an interesting one until you started breaking it down, because I think what everybody usually thinks is, what are you talking about, Steve? They have Rashee Rice. They have Xavier Worthy. Yep. There you go. But you're right. They run a lot of different formations, and a lot of these guys are on the field at the same time. I'm interested to see what happens. I think it's kind of up in the air. Jason Kelce even said, I'm curious what's happening with my brother as he's in the last year of his contract. Does Travis hang it up? They thought Noah Gray would be the one to slide into that spot.
I thought so too, but Noah Gray went MIA right now.
Yeah, it hasn't
not really sure. Sometimes there's flow, sometimes there's rhythm. But, man, you go in the offseason, you go, hey, I hope he gets it together. But if he doesn't, we got this plan to move forward if he does or he doesn't, right? Yeah, they've done that. Sky Moore, they traded him away to say, hey, we like him. He gives us an opportunity, but it just isn't working in the way we wanted to, so they shipped him out.
Yeah, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, the same thing as a running back they took in the first round, and he's not there anymore. One major note I want to make is you mentioned the trust part. I think you and I have both talked to so many people in that building that if Patrick doesn't trust you, he doesn't really go to you. And I think it's going to be hard if somebody.
But that's every quarterback, though.
Very true. I think you can rank them, though, in terms of the way they feel. And he's kind of closer to that group that's really up near the top. And he's had that safety blanket of the guy he trusts more than anything in Travis Kelce. But they are $44 million over the cap. I wanted to say that. There's only one team that has more, a bigger problem, and that's the Cowboys. So they have a big offseason, and draft is huge for them on how they kind of get this thing
that's
together.
Why the draft is important, because you can get misproduction at a discounted price.
Exactly. So that was my point, Steve. If it's like, Patrick loves the offseason with these guys. He always takes them down to Texas, right? They all stay at the same place. They all hang out. They throw like crazy. He's probably not going to be able to do that this offseason because of the injury.
But he's still going to have those guys down. He wants to see, get his eyes to see what these guys are doing. He's not, and he may not be able to participate, but he's going to be, his head is going to be on the swivel, and he's going to be watching and seeing how these guys are developing, so he can know when he gets back in there what for those guys to expect, what he is expecting out of them.
Yeah, and there's not a lot of quarterbacks that are asked, who do you like during the draft process. He gets asked, like, who because he watches. It's cool. Yeah. Okay, I like that. Chiefs, good one.
The Saints.
Well, that's a good one. And then we know that after Shaheed.
With Shaheed being traded away, right? And then they got Vele, who's really showing that was a good trade by them.
Yeah.
And then Shuck is doing a really good job. Looks like the quarterback of the future. We know Kellen Moore loves multiple wide receivers, loves attacking the defense. So I just would expect Juwan Johnson is a heck of a tight end, right? But they're outside of Chris Olave, and with
Cooks is gone, by the way, and
yes, so
Devon Vele
is. Vele is there, but you can get some young talent, develop them, and we also know because New Orleans Saints have been in cap hell for such a long time that getting some young talent for on the cheap is really the only way you can get back. So paying attention to the New Orleans Saints and how they acquire some of this talent is going to be very key.
I love that because they knew they were not going to re-sign Rashid Shaheed. They have been working, to my understanding, on a contract extension for Olave.
They can't.
So that's why I'm just saying that's why they made the move at the deadline is we're going to re-sign Olave. They're working on that extension, so expect that this offseason. You don't have Shaheed. You traded a very low pick to get Devon Vele, who was second on the Broncos among the receivers last year in terms of production after Cortland Sutton. And I know they've liked some things from him. And he's still he's not a young player, but he's a young player in terms of contract. He's just an older rookie last year. But yeah, that's a really good one. And listen, if Shuck's your guy, all right, find him some weapons.
The last one, not a shocker. They may disagree, but Bills Mafia, y'all need an outside of the numbers wide receiver. We know what you guys can do between the hashes, one of the best. But having a guy outside of the numbers who can make plays yesterday. Yeah. They need a guy who can line up outside the numbers, be stationary stand, and just win. Create free access, fight off the press, run and make plays. They need to get ready to play really good football on the outside because we know what they could do inside, but outside is really been a strong desire to have somebody they can rely on.
Yeah, that's it. When right now they feel, to my understanding, Steve, they've fallen on the trio of Shavers, Khalil Shakir,
who's been playing well.
Yeah, Khalil Shakir, who's their slot guy, and you know that you and I both like his game.
Love
and
his
then
game.
The third one, they've been throwing like Brandon Cooks out there. And
Brandon Cooks, Curtis Samuel, Gabe Davis.
Gabe Davis. It seems like he's found that role because Josh trusts him, and then they had Joshua Palmer is in the building. But
Speed
yeah,
guy.
it seems like they're just trying to find a piece. Now let me ask you this. Yeah, I was going to ask you what. This doesn't have to be a high pick, right? Or
No. It's not a high pick. It's a guy that you feel that could play right away. Right? But playing right away is this. He doesn't have to carry the team. Dalton Kincaid is the guy.
He's got to have his role. Yeah.
He just got to have his role and be excellent in his role. Nothing else. That's a difficult task, but nothing more, nothing less. We just need you in the middle.
Yeah. I think they know they need it. Certainly. Okay, I got a couple teams I'm just going to throw at you that I've been thinking about during this, and you tell me if they do have a need or not. I'm curious what Tyreek Hill's future is. Do you think Miami, they still have Waddle, who, by the way, is on an outstanding contract in terms of the organization's sense for the type of player he is? Do you think Miami would be interested in a receiver?
I think possible.
Okay.
Miami has a few issues going on, but I wouldn't put it past them.
Okay. Steelers, we're looking really, really heavily at the deadline for a number
the
two.
Steelers is that's a tough dynamic because do they want to run the football and establish a run, or do they want to turn into a pass-happy team? Can't really get a feel. That also goes if Mike T stays there. Mike T his pedigree is on defense. And that's one of the things with defensive-minded coaches, in my opinion, that sometimes they can stymie the offense with the philosophy of, hey, offensive guys, don't F this up. So I'm just curious to see Arthur Smith, will he be allowed to kind of create and orchestrate a more well-balanced offense with throwing the football a little bit more than they usually do?
Yeah, and the quarterback situation up in the air. It's an interesting tight end room too that they've paid a lot of money for. So I was curious about that.
Really good too.
Yeah, they're deep. Darnell Washington became like a key target for them over the last several weeks. Wow. How about the Giants? I've really liked what Wan'Dale Robinson has been doing of late, Steve. Neighbors will come back. Robinson is a free agent. Do you just re-sign? I just feel like for your young quarterback, having somebody opposite of your star receiver is
paramount. It's paramount. Wan'Dale Robinson plays a lot in the slot.
Very much so. Tons of production out of the slot so far.
Tons of production. But also, too, Malik Neighbors is a guy who you have to move around because defenses have to know where he is at all times. And so you can utilize that to benefit. So the other part is the head coach. Who is going to be the head coach and what is their philosophy going to be? Do they want to take this running game to the next level, which means that they're going to have a okay number 2. They're going to go with Malik Neighbors. Theo Johnson is doing a really good job at tight end.
I was about to say that. He's been a nice emerging player.
Yes, he's been he's been waiting in the wings. He was sitting behind Darren Waller for all those years, and all of a sudden he got his opportunity, and he's shining, doing really well. The biggest issue, though, the biggest issue for me has to be, how is the new head coach going to get Jackson Dart to play better football? He risks way too much, too young to put himself on the line as much, and there's no need.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really good point. You've had some great points on our show about how you feel about concussions and the dangers of head injuries in this league. Certainly, really good point. I have 2 more that I'm curious about that I wrote down. Okay. Browns. They have a lot of picks.
I'm not touching that. That. No. Okay. No. I'm not doing that.
What I will say about this is, I'm fascinated what they do in back-to-back years. They added picks when trading out of that number 2 spot. Are they going to look at a quarterback, or are they going to keep Shedeur as a full-on audition in year 2? I think they had a great draft class, so I'm kind of curious. I mean, Fannon's been great. Schlesinger on the linebacker spot. Judkins has been good.
Fannon's been great.
They've done a really good job. They're going to have at the end of the season, Steve, a rookie leading receiver, a rookie leading passer, a rookie leading rusher, and a rookie leading tackler, which is probably not happening very often with possibly a new head coach. And then the last one,
and the new head coach is not because he can't coach. The new head coach
is certainly true. He's
in a sack race, and his teammate only has one leg. It's tough, bro.
Yeah, that makes hard. He's looking for a new sack mate, and he'd probably get one if he gets let go. I think he'll be a sought after candidate. Okay, last one. New England was very aggressive this offseason after guys like Chris Godwin or whatever, and now that you've seen this emergence of Drake May, and Stephon Diggs is obviously an older veteran, would you look to possibly draft? I know they had Kyle Williams, who you liked a lot, that they picked in the draft this past year. Do you think New England would be interested in a receiver at all? Or do you like that this young group has grown with him, Pop Douglas and those guys? Booty as well.
I don't think you go and get a receiver.
Okay.
I believe, depending on what they want to do with Hunter, what he's doing at the tight end position, but they got a lot of young guys. Kyle Williams is starting to come on. He's getting his opportunity. Kayshon Boutte, he's doing his thing. Pop, like you said.
Those 2 guys have great chemistry with May, too.
Yes, I'm not really sure that adding someone else would be beneficial or take them over the edge. That's not what they need.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Then the last one that I am kind of curious about is the 49ers. Brandon Ayuk is going to be gone. Juwan Jennings is a free agent. I think you and I like Ricky Pearsall. He can't stay on the field this season, but he's shown flashes to where he can be maybe that guy. I'm kind of curious what San Francisco does.
Man, I don't know what's going on in San Francisco. It is very.
They're winning games though.
Yeah, but Brandon Ayuk is out. When you got the head coach saying, I haven't seen him forever, and then 2 days later, they go ahead and put him on injured reserve to not come back, that's exactly what the Cowboys are doing with Trayvon Diggs, that the 49ers are doing with Brandon Ayuk. The writing is on the wall. This is not working out well. We're going to just come to an agreement. We're going to agree to disagree, but agree to leave.
Mm-hmm. Do you want me to kind of lay it out for you? Because I looked this up the other day.
Oh, please do. Yes.
Okay.
Do tell, snitch.
You know. That's true. He has that. They voided his 2026 guarantees, which is roughly almost $30 million. And so with them voiding that,
just walk away from $30 million.
And he is. And so the reason you understand that he's walking away from it is he has not filed a grievance with the NFLPA. With him not filing a grievance, Steve, what does that tell you? He goes, I don't care. I want to be out. I'm not going to fight them voiding this money. I want to go. And so he's going to walk away from it thinking that in 2026 he's going to get paid as a free agent, maybe equal sum or greater. For the 49ers, what they will deal with is it's actually pretty cut and dry that they will have about $30 million in dead money when they release him. Now, they could release him post-June 1 and split that up over 2 years, or they could trade him. It's still going to be like $30 million in dead money. So they're stuck with that number. He's not going to play for them again, no matter what they do with him in terms of getting him out of the building this season. Yeah, it's crazy. Because he was the guy. Like they were like, Debo doesn't play it the way Kyle wants him to play it, and he's getting older. We can move on for like Ayuk was the precision route runner that you always told me fit the system, and now we'll see. So we'll see what San Fran does. I like this game. This was good, Steve. This is good. I like the list.
Crazy.